Jennifer Hadman. Jennifer Henninger. Nicholas Harris.
Nick and Emma, we just felt that starting with the Whitworth graduations of both of you, with Emma in 2018 and Nicholas in 2019, because that's where it all started for the two of you. You met there as you were both RAs on errand hall, and you worked together, and you already became friends. But so much happened in between Emma's graduation and then Nick's graduation. In that year, you grew so close, and a romantic relationship flourished, and an engagement, and now here we all are on the eve of your wedding, and we just want to celebrate the two of you in a little bit of a unique way, and where we're looking at it through maybe the lens of both the Hughes and the Harms families, where during this time frame we both had introductions to either Emma or to Nick, and some of those impressions, but also just what some of the things that we really like about you, why we think this is such a wonderful union between two incredibly unique and fun and very intentional people. And we just want to celebrate the two of you, and we hope that you can enjoy this for just years and years to come.
Some of my first experiences with Emma were actually in a couple classes that I had with her my junior and senior year when she was a sophomore and junior. I remember her just having a lot of really insightful input in that class, and some of my first memories of her was just like, wow, she's a very intelligent and caring, kind person, and has a lot of really important things to say.
Since we were both psych majors, we had classes together, and so I got to know Emma, as Caleb said, outside of their relationship and really before Nick and Emma started dating, which was really cool. Last year, when Caleb and I were in our first year of marriage, Caleb and Nick and Spencer and their friend Dalton and Kinsey all had a D&D campaign going when they would play together every Friday night, and so Emma, Miriam and I had a standing Friday night girls' date. I think Emma called them Fun Female Fridays. Yeah, I mean, we hung out almost once a week, if not more than that. And of course, now that the past almost 5 months that she's been living with us, I've gotten to have a lot of sweet time with her too. And yes, I would say, I mean, she's for sure one of my closest friends here in Spokane.
The things that I noticed about her were mostly like how down to earth she is and personable. She really treasures relationships, and that's important to Nick too. Nick is very much a relationship person, and so I knew that he was going to be attracted to and hopefully find somebody who felt strongly like he does. He's a very caring person.
I had an image in my head of what kind of a person she was, and was intimidated by that person because I was like, oh my goodness, she's really successful. But when I met Emma, that shifted quite a bit because of her character matches her smile, in which she's one of the most genuine people I've ever met. And I became friends with Emma quicker than I think I became friends with anyone, because she's very open and kind and sincere.
Now, these items about Emma, all true, every one of them. My experience, though, my first impression was a little bit different and way more superficial. We had gone up to see Nicholas play in a tennis match, and the first thing I noticed about him was that his hair had been cut, and it was cut really awful. It was really short and way too short. And I went, oh my, what happened? Did he lose a bet? Was this a prank or something like that? No, as it turned out, Emma gave him a haircut. And I remember a group of students who were watching the tennis match, and I was like, well, which one gave him the haircut? And they pointed out to, and I go, oh, that's her? Oh man, boy, okay, she's the haircut girl. And then I remember finding out that Nick and a very nice young lady, I was told, were talking about dating and things like that. And then I finally started to put two and two together, and I was like, wait a minute, is this the haircut girl? Is this oh my. I mean, my big impression was, this is the woman that butchered my son's hair. Little did I know just how wonderful a human being can be, despite the fact that maybe they're not the greatest with scissors.
I do remember that it was kind of interesting because she cut it really short. And so that made a big impression on Joe. And
so those are some of the impressions that Emma was leaving on us. Now the relationship was growing, and so Nick had to make a trip to Oregon to visit the Harms family.
When you've heard that Emma had like a serious boyfriend and his name was Nick, what did you think?
I gotta meet him first.
And then when you met him?
Very good looking. Very. Keep it up. Very good looking. Good.
I remember when Emma and Nick drove up and we saw them. I saw Emma walk out of the car, and then Nick walked out, and that was kind of awkward because I didn't really know him. But now that I know him, I can give him hugs.
So, Reagan, what was your first impression of Nick, both when you first heard that Emma was serious about a guy, and then when you met him?
Okay, I was thinking we had to get rid of him, just like our babysitter. So we started coming up with some plans, like a poisonous soup. Yeah, what was the second question?
But then when you met him...
he was very nice. Yeah.
Wait, you were gonna make poisonous soup?
We all planned on it. It wasn't just my idea.
Yes, it was.
What?
Barbara, what was your first impression of Nick?
Tall, cute, like in a nice boy kind of cute, not like sexy John Stamos kind of cute. And then when I first got to meet him, I swear he was going to shake my hand. He was so nervous and so very, very, very polite, which I liked, but I wanted him to just relax a little bit. And then the next time we saw him, he was awesome. I think he finally figured out that we liked him. And so my second impression is my favorite impression of him, which was delightfully funny, intelligent, competitive, just a nice guy.
You know, I can honestly say I don't remember the very first time I met Nick. I'm assuming it's when he and Emma came here for kind of the introductory weekend. But I will tell you the impression I got when I went up there for a tennis match once.
Oh yeah.
And Nick was down, I don't even remember, it was like 5 sets to 1 or 5 games to 1 or 2. And he battled back. He did end up losing that match, but the fact that he battled back and didn't give up meant a lot. I was like, this guy's got grit. I was very impressed with that. So that's when I kind of went, all right, I think Emma's got a good one.
Fun fact about that match, Leslie remembered that match as well and Nick's grit, and she thought that he had lost it as well. But I went back and I was looking at the video and saw the scorecard and everything. Nick actually won that match. So it's just very clear to me that neither Leslie nor David Harms were using the Emma Harms finger method of keeping track of the tennis score.
Actually, I have some very fond memories of teaching Emma the scoring of tennis.
Do you recall how she keeps score?
Yeah, she counts on her fingers. So she sits watching each side and then keeps track on her fingers of who has how many points and then who's won the game, and then she restarts after a game's finished. She'll watch and be like, okay, so Nick's got a point, so she'll put a finger up. And then she'll be watching back and forth. Oh, now it's 15 all, so there's 1 point on each side. Oh, Nick got 30-15, okay. And she'll keep track on her fingers like that every time.
And she knew that 4 points would win unless it was tied. And she actually was like more reliable than anybody sitting in the crowd. Like if you wanted to know the score, you turned and asked Emma.
Weird.
You got it. Oh, nice shot. Nice shot, Nick.
Video.
Nice shoes, Nick. Love the shoes.
Zoom
Nick.
in all the shoes.
Love the shoes.
I've been advocating for your shoes this whole time.
It's all about the shoes.
She's won us over, Nick. She's won us over, Nick.
So David, what makes Nick and Emma a good couple?
Okay, so first,
Here come the fingers.
they were like super serious for a while. It just seemed
They
like,
were, for sure,
like
for sure.
every conversation was very intentional, which is fine. And I realized kind of how similar they are. Sometimes opposites attract. I think Emma and Nick are like similar people attract. And then it kind of loosened up. I think it might have been just because they got comfortable around us and so forth. But I think the fact that they are so much alike is going to be great. And the fact that they're very sensitive to each other's needs and desires and they talk things through, that's a good quality for a marriage.
They care about other people. They're not self-centered.
I think they both like dogs. That's always a good quality. Am I done now?
They're very kind. They're some of the kindest people I've ever met. They think about others first, almost to a fault. They love Jesus and it shows. And they know how to laugh sincerely and enjoy each other's company.
But I think when you find that person that you feel a bond to, there's always these similarities, whether it's in your upbringing, hopefully it's always in your faith, your education process, your background, but you also bring differences to that. And Nick and Emma are different, and I see them having to work through things. There's been times when we've been around them that, they've actually taken a walk or gone into another room because they need to discuss something, and I find that to be extremely mature.
And they're so aware of each other and themselves, so they're going to just excel immensely. So I have no concerns for them, but I just hope that they are able to find that perfect balance of being playful and fun and spontaneous, and just really enjoying each other's company, to also supporting each other and being each other's best teammate.
When I heard that they were gonna get engaged and soon to be married, I just had zero questions about it. I was like, of course, that makes total sense. And thank goodness, thank goodness he knew, that Emma's something special.
When they became engaged, it was very exciting and awesome, and I think that it was something that at least Sarah and I had seen coming down the road for quite a while, just because we know that those are the kinds of committed people that they are. I got to be the first person that Emma saw in the line of people that Nick had lined up to start her engagement scavenger hunt. It was really fun. She showed up, and as soon as she saw me, she had this big dorky smile on her face. She was just like, "You're not the brother that's supposed to be here." And so she gave me a big hug, and we actually sat there and talked for a little bit, and she was like, "So this is how it's happening, huh?" I was like, "Yes, yeah, it is." That's a really cool memory. We took a picture of us there to commemorate, so we've got a fun little selfie of the three of us on Emma's first step into engagement.
I think something that's been really special for Emma and I is that we're both marrying into the Hughes family, which is already obviously established. And I think it's been really fun to have someone to enter into that with and like kind of giggle at some of the Hughes isms and like ways of each Caleb and Nick and how they're similar in so many ways. Like I swear, if I get a call from Nick and at times, and depending on what he's saying, if I didn't know it was Nick, I would think it was Caleb. And I know Emma has said the same thing.
It's like a really cool knit tapestry that is formed here in the Hughes family. And it's really refreshing to have Emma and Sarah as Emma as a soon-to-be sister and Sarah as a sister. It's refreshing to have them as, you know, they're gonna be a part of the Hughes family, but to have different perspectives and family traditions. It's really cool having 2 new sisters, and Emma's just gonna be a wonderful addition.
What would you wish for Emma and Nick now that they're getting married?
I wish for happiness, and I wish that they would stay true and kind to each other that forever.
I wish that they would enjoy the journey and not worry about the details so much. Laugh a lot, forgive a lot, and don't ever give up on each other.
That they'll be happy. Oh, and maybe they'll get some motorcycles. It's always a good thing to have, you know?
A motorcycle.
Yeah.
His and her motorcycles.
Yeah. Now you're thinking like his and then hers painted on each motorcycle.
What is your wish for Emma and Nick in their future?
Grandkids.
I hope for Nick and Emma that this journey will be full of joy and adventure and lots of laughter. And because we know there's going to be tears, and there's always going to be hard times, and there's going to be big decisions that are stressful. But I hope they have a whole bunch of kids, and that we just get to watch the joy of that family.
If I had to like describe it as a feeling, it's kind of that like tingly feeling you get as you're like going up a roller coaster and you're so excited and you're so ready, and that's kind of where they are right now, and then it's gonna drop and they're gonna just be so stoked and just screaming of excitement. And I'm excited to see all of that right after their wedding. You know, they go on their honeymoon, they're in marriage, it's just like, oh yeah, let's go. And I'm really excited to see them live that whole part out, because I know from personal experience how wonderful and how great it is and how special marriage is. And so I'm really excited for them to get to experience that.
I hope and pray that they grow together as a couple as they move along in the years and not apart. They don't get too casual with their relationship. I pray that they would continue to serve Jesus that way. I pray that Nick would go overseas with me to some third world place to see that part of the world. But I pray that they would use their marriage as a witness to the goodness of God and the power of grace and forgiveness. And have kids. And have kids.
I feel really blessed that both of my oldest 2 so far have found somebody to spend their life with. I don't take that for granted, and it's not as common as you think. I just feel like they are really fortunate to have found each other.
Okay, Nick and Emma, what do I wish and hope and pray for the 2 of you? Well, I wish that you don't cut each other's hair. That'd be one. I hope that if you're at the Harms house and they're serving soup, I hope you don't have any, or at least Nick's portion. Not a good idea. But what I pray for you is I pray that you just have a long and happy and blessed life together, because I see you heading down that road already, before you even get married. You are having the biblical kind of love that's going to sustain a lifetime together, and that's the patient and love and kind, and it's not self-serving, and it's not proud. All those things I see with you. Leslie and I are going to hit 30 years this year. This is the year you get married. My parents will hit 55 years. If there's anything that we've learned in that long period of time being wedded, is that it's really God's training ground as to how to have His love for each other, because you have to experience grace and forgiveness and faithfulness toward each other, and it's not easy, but it pays off. You're so much more better for it as you go through it. And that's one thing for sure that we've experienced. And I pray that for you, that you will have a long and happy and God-honoring life together. You're headed down that road based on a biblical love, and it's a beautiful thing. And Nick, thank you for bringing Emma into our family. Between Nick and Caleb bringing Sarah and Emma into our family, we are just overjoyed. This is so exciting for us, and we are so thankful.
So, Murphy, what makes Emma and Nick a good couple?